Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our session for today entitled Cebu in-Depth or Analyzing the Local Market. My name is Dan from the Lamudi Academy. I am one of your learning partners for today. And with me is my co-learning partner, Clar. Right. So
Good
Clar, please say hi to
afternoon.
everyone.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are all safe wherever you are.
Right. So we have a couple of participants in our Zoom call already. And, if you're tuning in on Facebook, let us know how you're doing today. All right. But what about you, Clar? How are you? The weather's quite humid, no? So how are you
Right.
doing today?
I've been drinking lots of cold beverages just to beat the heat. Then this week has been really, really excruciatingly hot. So really beating that with ice cold or rather ice water or even just cold beverages like
Anything with
coffee or
ice.
that's true.
Right.
And also keeping my air conditioner on. Good luck to my bills at the end. I mean, right, coming right up at the end of the month. But yeah, that's how I'm coping. And also wondering how the others are also coping with the heat or how do you guys beat the heat? Let us know by commenting on the Facebook or also here on Zoom.
Yes, and we also like to know where you guys are joining us from, right?
That's
So
right.
we want to know which city you are in right now. If you are maybe in overseas location, we'd be interested to know that, right? So for me and Clar here, we're doing this session all the way from Mandaluyong. Yeah,
Right.
so let us know.
Mandaluyong represent.
That's correct. So let us know on the chat box, guys, where you're joining us from. But, before we start with our discussion for today, of course, we would like to introduce to you who Lamudi Academy is. So we are your learning partners here at Lamudi Philippines, and our purpose in action is to elevate your strategies through empowered solutions. And we strengthen industry expertise by providing you learning experiences that are focused on insight building, skills application, and sharing of best practices. And Clar here will walk us through some of our guidelines for this afternoon.
All right. So this afternoon we are at a learning session. So just inviting everyone to keep your attention in this learning session, keep engaged. And speaking of engaged, I want to invite everyone to turn their cameras on. I see here it's just Den and I with our videos on. So guys, please turn your cameras on so we can see you and also see your reactions. And speaking of engagement, also inviting everyone to comment your insights or questions or even greetings on the chat box here on Zoom as well as on Facebook. Again, we're still getting some answers from where they are coming from. So still looking forward to more answers there. Also, with that note, for us to have a good audio and the perfect audio, please maintain the mute option there, and also to invite everyone to keep their participant name here on Zoom, just so we can address you properly. And again, congratulations everyone, because you have invested it by learning and joining in this learning session this afternoon. You will be receiving a certificate of attendance as well as a one pager, right? Hi Vanessa, hi Reggie. I see they have their videos turned on. All right. So yep. So along with that, at the end of the session, we'll also be sending a feedback form. Let us know how we did and how we can do better. That will only take 1 to 2 minutes. And also inviting you guys to connect with us on our Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn accounts. Let us know or follow us also, and let us know your experience with the Lamudi Academy by posting and using these hashtags, hashtag LA Learning Session, Learning Solution rather, and hashtag Lamudi Academy.
All
Ayan.
right. So I hope you guys were able to take note of that. And Clar, I want to see, did you get any responses from any of our participants on where they are joining us from?
Right. So we have Reggie, Vanessa, and Valjean from Cebu City. Hello, everyone,
Hi.
and welcome.
Okay, so nice to have you guys here. And for the others, feel free to let us know where you're joining us from today. All right. So to walk you through our roadmap or what we will be talking about for today's discussion, we're going to look at today's property seeker, their preferences, what insights can we draw from the behavior that we've seen for the past year. And from there, we're going to talk about today's top seller strategies. And let's start with our discussion on today's online property seeker or the activity, the trend, and the search data. All right. So the data that you see here on your screen right now is the time per day spent using the internet worldwide. All
So
right.
those
And
are
it's
big numbers, then.
yeah, it's ranked from least to highest in
Mhm.
terms of internet usage. And as you can see here, the global average is at about 6 hours and 54 minutes. And here in the Philippines, our global or our average rather here in the Philippines is at 10 hours, right, and 56 minutes. So Clara, let me ask you, how long do you use the internet in a day? Does it exceed this or just this amount?
To be honest with you, Dan, I think I also at that range of 10 hours. Of course, if we're going to include working hours also, and, it might even exceed that 10 hours. But, we maybe around 10 to 12 hours spent on the internet. So I think I'm guilty.
Guilty with this, right? And same for me. So you
Mhm.
spend obviously the 8 hours using the internet for work, and then maybe another half of that if after shift you guys like to stream on YouTube, or you like to do you like to watch Netflix, right? So
Right,
this
right.
this average is not surprising. And with this context, we'd like to know from our participants today, what are the online activities that you guys spend the most time on? All right. So we have 5 different activities here on the poll that you see on your screen right now. And feel free to tap any of these that you feel applies for you.
Mhm.
So this is a multiple choice, right, Clar?
Right. So please choose as many as applies to you. Actually, if I were to be honest, then I'd be in all of these online activities, and actually ranking the most, it would be online shopping.
Right. So Clar here is an avid window shopper in the online world. But for
That's
me,
right.
my favorite would be video streaming. So
Mhm.
I've recently started watching this new show on Netflix. So you could just imagine, right? You can finish a season in a day
Right.
sometimes. Okay, so we are at about 50% of the responses, and we'll keep the poll open for 5 more seconds in case anyone else would like to lock in their answers. All right. 5 more seconds, guys. Five, four, three, two, and one. There you have it. So, Clark, what do our results say?
All right. We actually have a tiebreaker between online search and social media. We are at 75% for those both. And we have video streaming. Next up is, or the last one actually is online shopping. And we actually didn't get, votes for playing games. All right.
Okay. So, thank you guys for sharing your answers with us. And those 5 activities that you've seen on the poll are actually the top 5 activities that people normally spend their time on, right? So, okay. So if you see here, these are all really revolve on online activities.
Mhm.
And Klarno, with the situation that we are in for the past year, we've become more reliant,
That's
right, in
correct.
all of these different activities. And there's no surprise that social media is at the very top, because this has been a really good way for us to connect with our family members that we have not seen
Mhm.
in a while, right? And
Right.
it's also a way for people to read up on the latest news, what's currently happening. So really, there's that rise in the use of social media. But what I would like to put specific emphasis on is for online shopping.
Mhm.
Right. So e-commerce, this is not a new phenomenon, right, Clark? If do you
Right.
remember
Right.
when this all started?
I think if it we were to be very exact, it started years back already. Now we would have online shopping. We would already, buy our goods, even our, our items online. But I
Mhm.
see it now, with that big number that you're showing us here. Then, can you tell us more about what this number is?
Right. So this is the number spent on
Mhm.
online shopping so far, and this is based on data from
Mhm.
Statista last February 2021. And as you can see here, and I would just like to share a story for our participants here, right? So I know I have a friend who's actually not a fan of online shopping. So if they could get that item in person,
Right.
they feel like that's the best way to go because you can take a look at the item, you can see
Mhm.
if it's working, and all of that,
Right.
right? But because of the of the situation that we are in now, or our quote unquote new normal, right? She has been forced to do almost all of her purchases, all of her transactions in through online platforms, right? And that is the same with all of us here, across all of us here in the room, in the Zoom call, and also in our Facebook live, right? So online shopping has really taken over our lives, or e-commerce. And this is not just on for your immediate needs, but also for bigger purchases, such as buying real estate. And because of this, because we are more inclined to do things or do everything online, I guess it's safe to say that in today's digital world, it's really not about finding leads anymore, but it's about your leads finding you, right?
Right.
And with the data that we saw, with the data that we saw, that a lot of users, property seekers, actually are going online now. It is something, it's a behavior that we also see in our platform, and because of that, we're able to share with you some of the top insights from our platform based on the page views from our property seekers. So number one is that real estate interest has not waned. Do you agree with this, Clar?
Right. Yes, then definitely, I'm sure though, at the earlier part of, the onset of the pandemic, we were all nervous about
Right.
how, our industry is going to, to survive. But with the current insights, and I'm sure you're going to share more about it, real
Yes.
estate interest is really more, it's getting higher and higher. And, I'm trying not to say more of the insights, but really, more people are investing rather, and investing and looking at buying properties nowadays.
Right. And just to share an insight there that I got on why real estate interest has not waned. So for example, on a regular day maybe, or in a regular year, you would spend your extra money on traveling, on going to
That's
these
correct.
different beaches, different countries, right? But since everything is restricted, we're able to save, some people are able to save that money, and they're looking for something to invest in. And everybody knows that real estate is one of the best investments anyone could have, right? So the interest is still there. And next is that there is also a significant and consistent interest from overseas property seekers. So if we have any overseas joiners here, if you're
Right.
joining us from maybe from the US, from Singapore, I don't know, let us know on the chat. All right. But some of the top countries that we consistently see as the top countries with the most property seekers would be the US, the Middle East, Canada, Australia, England, and Japan,
Japan. Right.
right? So these are the countries where most OFWs are. So this is no surprise.
Mhm.
And another thing is that interest in provincial cities are growing. So before, we had this thinking that the focus is mostly put on the CBDs, but now we can also see that the cities surrounding that are enjoying growth as well. And property seekers now, they prioritize amenities that improve the quality of life. Later, we're going to show you what are the top amenities for your specific location. But a lot of property seekers now, they really take a look at, if I move into this location, is this going to be helpful for me or
Right.
healthy for me, right, Clara? So for
Right.
example, for Clara here, what was one of the things that you considered before you moved into where you are now?
Of course, one of the biggest things are the amenities, just like you said. And to be more specific, I was looking at, garden areas, even actually gym or fitness areas for me to be able to, take a breather or even have that balance in my lifestyle. So, for everyone to have a better background, I'm living in a condominium, and so that is especially here in the city, right in Mandaluyong, we don't really get a lot of that fresh air, but of course, for me, I was looking at that, again, that the garden area or that fitness gyms just to balance it. And I'm sure also our property seekers are looking for that. Definitely at this point where most of us are on a work from home setup.
Right. And, I think, Clara, one of the things that you subconsciously looked for is an area where there's internet coverage, because you will be working from,
That's
because you're
correct.
working from home, right? So those are, again, one of the top amenities that they look at. And last but not the least is, we also, property experts also see, they're optimistic for the opportunities ahead for the real estate market. All right. And Clara, we're now about to get to the interesting parts of our conversation today,
Right.
which is to look at, the top insights or the things that we can share about, specifically for Visayas in Cebu, right? Or what are the preferences of our property seekers. And the first thing that we are going to look at is the buying and renting page views and leads in Cebu and Visayas. All right. So as you can see here, and in the graphic that you're seeing here is specifically for renting. All right. So as you can see, there is a decrease in the page views and the leads, but for Visayas, for example, there is this slight increase in terms of page views for rent, right? So despite the decrease in the other factors for Cebu, we see here an increase in page views for rent in Visayas. And let's take a look at the buying. So we saw what it looks like for rent. Now let's look at how property seekers are viewing these properties in terms of buying. Right. So compared to Q1 versus compared to 2020 first quarter to the first quarter of 2021, Visayas saw a significant increase, actually, both for page views and leads in buying properties,
Right.
right? And
So then are we seeing an increase or of interest from buying for property seekers buying properties instead of just renting,
right,
right?
that's correct, Lord. It's a really good insight, and that's really what we can draw from this, is that we can see that people are, really at this point they're leaning towards buying properties instead of looking
Mhm.
for maybe rooms or maybe areas to rent, right? Because
Mhm.
like what we've mentioned earlier in the first part, or in one of our insights, which is the interest is not really waned. People were able to save up during the past year because travels were restricted. There was not much leisure, right, for
Mhm.
the past year. So I guess that might be one of the contributing factors on why people are really leaning towards buying properties. And if we were to look at the preferred property types, or in terms of their ranking, we have here. All right, so let's just wait for that to load. Just having some troubles here. Okay, there you have it. So, okay, so as you can see here, for the year 2020, the preferred property type in Visayas is, number one, is still house or home, like residential spaces. This is followed by land, condominiums, apartment, and commercial spaces. So really, Clar, people are really looking into buying properties that they can live in, right? Or this could be, if they're buying condominiums, could be really an investment for themselves,
That's right.
right?
And also, connecting it back with our Lamudi insights, rather, the top insights. No, we said there that, people are moving towards farther areas to improve quality of life. And I see that here with homes and bigger lands right at the top of our list here.
Yes, that's correct. And apart from looking at just Visayas, let's look at the preferred property types in Cebu. So compared to the property types that you see here for Visayas, there's really only one change here for the preferred property types in Cebu, and that would be the placing for condo and land. So for,
Mm-hmm.
if in Visayas, the second place is land, here in Cebu, the second most preferred property types would be condominiums, right? So sort of the same, and I guess you can draw the same insights from there as well, Clar, no? Na
Right.
really looking at these residential spaces, residential uh places where they can reside in,
That's
right?
correct. And
Mhm.
being that, of course, it's the the second most populated province in the Philippines, right? So everyone is looking for spaces like condominiums, where they can stay in as well.
Right, that's correct. And apart from the preferred property types, I think one of the things that our viewers today here in our Zoom and our Facebook Live, another thing that they will find interesting would be the demand in terms of price range. All right, so let's take a look at the price demand in page views for Visayas. All right. So as you can see here, and this is from least to most preferred or in terms of demand. So you can see here, we saw the least amount of increase for the price range of 9 million to 12 million, but we saw the interest is really in the 3 million to 4.5, in the more than 20 million, and the 12 million to 20 million price range. So that these are the price ranges, the top three price ranges that people are really looking at in terms of Visayas in general, right? So really that you can still see here, Clark, no, the interest in investing in properties in this area. And looking again, so as you can see, no, our what do you call this rhythm here is we look at the Visayas interest first before we take a look at the interest in Cebu. So we saw the price demand and page views in Visayas. Now let's take a look at what it looks like for Cebu. So it's still the same in terms of the top price range. It's still 12 million to 20 million, and the top three would be 6 million to 9 million, less than 450,000, and 12 million to 12 million to 20 million. And I think, Laura, one of the things that our participants would find interesting about this data is this all of these price ranges had an increase in terms of their price demand, right? But this is just their ranking. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
from least to most. So again, this really drives the point that the interest for properties in these areas, properties for interest for investments in these areas are still there, right? And if we were to look at where or which cities are our property seekers looking, so we're showing you the top 5 cities where property seekers are looking both for Visayas and Cebu. So as you can see here, for Visayas, the top cities would be Cebu, Bohol, Negros Occidental, Negros Oriental, and Iloilo. And for the specific cities in Cebu, it of course the top one would be the major city, which is Cebu, followed by Lapu-Lapu, Mandaue, Talisay, and Liloan. So, Clara, have you been to any of these cities? I'm just interested to know.
Oh, I've been in the beautiful city of Cebu. Very, one thing that I can share with you, Den,
Mm-hmm.
Cebu is very urbanized now. They're actually, when I was there a few years, or actually last year, the city has improved a lot, and also there's traffic. Right, so there's a lot of people are living in Cebu now, and I see it that people. I mean, from the data that you're sharing with us. So people are really looking into living in the city, to be also where most of the work opportunities are.
All right. And actually, Clar, I'm glad that you've been to Cebu, because I personally haven't been there, but it's one of my dream
Oh, it's beautiful.
destinations to go to, because I've heard a lot of really good things about it from my friends who've been to Cebu. They keep saying, "Then why haven't you been there? You should go there at least once in your life." Right. And I think the only city, I'm just looking at this now, the only place that I've been in in this list would be Bohol. So if we have any participants here who have been to Bohol or who are currently in Bohol, let us know on the chat, all right? Or if you're tuning in on Facebook Live and you're currently in Bohol, let us also know.
Right.
Okay. So these are the cities, or the locations where the property seekers are looking. But now let's take a look at where are they from. So where are the searches coming from, right? So the interest for all right. So in terms of local, if we were to look at local interests or where the searches are coming from here in the Philippines, so for Visayas, the top um place where the search comes from would be Cebu, followed by Quezon City, Davao, Makati, and Bacolod. So these are where the property seekers are located. But of
Mhm.
course, these are just the top five. There are still other cities here. And for Cebu, the searches are coming from, of course, number one is still Cebu. And it's quite the same with the top five for Visayas, actually, Clar. And the only difference here is for Cebu, the fifth place is Iloilo, and for Visayas would be Bacolod. Right.
Right.
So if you were to, maybe if you've seen this trend in your property seekers as well, or your clients. So, you might have clients right now, or a lot of clients right now that are coming from these cities, then, this data or this insight just shows it. And Clara, if you remember, our second insight earlier from Lamudi is that there
Mhm.
is consistent interest from overseas property seekers. So now let's
Right.
take a look at those countries where the interest is coming from.
Very
Okay.
exciting then. And before we get to that, these are the similar countries that we mentioned a while ago.
Right, that's correct. And if you remember, one of those were United States,
Mhm.
Canada, UK, Australia, and Japan. So these are the top five countries where the searches are coming from in Visayas. Of course, we didn't include the Philippines here because we would be number one. And in Cebu, the searches are coming from again the US, Canada, Australia, UK, and Japan. So, Clar, we've been sharing these countries here. And if you were to go to any of these countries, right? Which one would you choose?
Oh, guys, actually, I was planning to go to Japan
Wow.
just last year, 2020. But of course, what year was 2020? It just flew and it was
Just
all
flew
about,
by.
it just flew by and it was all about the current pandemic. But I'm sure no, in the next few, hopefully, months or maybe in a year. How about you, then?
Right. So if I were to choose, I would probably choose Canada.
Oh,
And this
yeah.
is because there's an artist that I'm following that I'd like to visit in Canada. A little bit fangirl moment there, right?
Mhm.
But what about you guys? If you were to choose in any of these countries, right? If you can go there for free, which country would you choose? Let us know on the chat and on the comment section here on Facebook. Okay? So now we've taken a look at where the searches are coming from, where are they looking, some of the insights. Another insight that I think our participants here would be interested to know would be, what are the top amenities that our property seekers look for? And the top three would be swimming pool, air conditioning, and garage or open spaces. So, Clar, because of the weather or because of where we are in the world, right? It's it's not surprising that one of the top amenities that they look for would be swimming pool, right?
Right.
If
That's
if
correct.
if I could work in a pool 24/7, I would do that just so I can relieve the heat, right? Don't you agree, Clark?
Yes, of course. No, and of course, and if really, if the pool is also cold, much
Right.
better. But also, no, apart from the weather, I think these amenities like pools, like the pool, or maybe just activities for families with
Mm-hmm.
children. This is one of the things that they're gonna look for as well.
Uh-huh.
Swimming pools for their kids.
Right,
Right.
that's correct. And I think for the past year, we've really, again, this is just my personal view on it, but I think for the past year, we've really appreciated, like, if you live in a condo space and you have a
Right.
pool, that's accessible to you, right? You really
That's correct.
appreciated that because you can't go to the pool for the past year for the resorts, the beaches, and the next amenity that you see here would be air conditioning and Wi-Fi. So of course, internet connection is very important for our property seekers. Again, especially now, they're all or most of us rather are working from home. And even if you're not, even if you're in the office, right, when you get home, you still need that connection,
Hmm.
for you use it, not just for work but also to
Yep.
unwind.
To connect with
And
your family, your friends. This is how we get connected nowadays, right? So
yeah.
definitely I agree with this one.
Yeah. And the last amenity that we see here would be the garage or the open spaces. Ayan. So obviously with the, I think people are just maybe they have fatigue because
Right.
they've been staying at home for the longest time. So just having that open space, right, where you can do your physical activities would be really helpful,
Right.
right? And let's take a look at their profile. Let's take a look at the profile of our property seekers. And as you can see here, I'm showing you the top age ranges for Visayas in terms of increase in page views. So as you can see here, the least amount of increase would come from the 25 to 34, and the highest amount of increase would come from property seekers within the age range of 65 to 65 plus years old.
Hmm.
And despite that, no, despite that, 25 to 34 is the least amount of increase. They still are the largest share of page views for Visayas, right?
Right.
And Clara, do you have any friends who are looking for properties in this area, or who live in this area? Do you know anyone?
Yes, a good call there, then, because I am within this age range. So
Mm-hmm.
I am actually seeing this with my friends who have just started their family, or they've just started work abroad, and they're
Mm-hmm.
coming back, looking for properties, as well as properties that they could buy in the future. So really
Right.
that reflects with what we're showing here.
That's correct. And this insight is actually the same for Cebu as well.
Hmm.
So 25 to 34 is the smallest amount of increase, but they are still the largest share of page views, right? But for Cebu, the highest age range with the or sorry, the highest increase would come
Hmm.
from the 45 to 54 years old age range.
Hmm.
There you go.
Right.
And
So then I'm seeing this the largest increase on the 65 and above years old, and I'm thinking maybe the age range, and those who are seeing or looking for listings at this age, they're maybe looking for places that they can retire in, or
mhm.
properties that they can retire in.
Right. That's actually a really good insight, Clar. And again, just to share another story. So as you can see, guys, I really love
Hmm.
stories.
Right.
Just to share another story there. I have an aunt actually who's looking for, a place where she can just chill.
Hmm.
And she's within this age range. So one of the top cities that she's really considering would be Cebu because she's been there a couple of times before, and she said, she'd rather live there forever. So that's why it's one of the cities that she's looking at. All right. So now we see here, no, we've been saying that the 25 to 34 had the largest share of page views. What do we know about them and what can we share about them? But before we get into those insights, we'd like to hear from your end first. All right. So Clara here will be launching a poll with the question: do you guys look at online reviews before acquiring a product or a service? So is your answer yes, sometimes, or no? All
Right.
right.
We have quick responses here. We're already past 50%. And
60% now.
right, 60% now. And very interested to know, guys, if you're really if you look at the online reviews before acquiring a product. Okay.
Right. So, keeping this poll open for 5 more seconds. And I can see Clar, Vanessa has really maintained her camera on. So thank you so
That's
much,
right.
Vanessa. If the others can also turn on their cameras, we'd love to see you guys.
There you
All
go. Thanks,
right.
Reggie. Awesome.
Right. So let's end the poll here, Clar, and let's see what they say. So as you can see, almost everyone at 95% said that they look at online reviews or before acquiring anything, right? They look at what people are saying. So if us, about even though we are real estate professionals, we are all still consumers. So for us,
Mhm.
if we do this, what more for our property seekers? And this actually ties into my next point because Lamudi Academy actually released a survey about 3 months ago. And we asked the property seekers, do you look at, what does the internet say about this agent or this developer first before pushing through with your transaction? And 50% of them said yes, right? So it's really really important for them to take a look at your online presence. What are your strategies in terms of uh in terms of the digital age, right, as we call it? So how are you faring in the digital age, or how are you doing? They take a look at that. And because of this, I guess again it's also safe to say that we are witnessing a significant shift in property seeker behavior, right? And this is one of the I guess the biggest insights that we can draw from today's discussion, because Clar, this shift in our property seekers is not just in behavior, right?
That's
You can
correct.
also see this in their lifestyle, in their buying decisions, and also their preferences. And knowing all of this, the question that we want to answer now would be, how do you now market to today's online buyer? What are the top strategies that you need to keep in mind? And what are the channels that you should be on? But before we get into that, let's take a look at today's tops, this insight from Kantar, which is a leading global insights and consulting company. So they say that, understanding the changing landscape of human experiences and needs is crucial right now. And this basically just means that, in the changing world, in the changing digital age that we are now, we need to be in line with how our property seekers want to receive information, with how they want to communicate, and to support their needs in the way that we can through digital platforms, right?
That's
Because
right.
it's really the way to go, and this is the way that the industry will stay for the long haul, right, Clar?
Right. And to tie it up with, one of our, quotes, kumbaga, that we said a while ago, in today's digital world, we have to adjust with, how the society is living, because it's not about finding your leads, it's about leads finding you. So finding that strategy, using those strategies in order for you to succeed in our line of work is your way for a successful career. Right.
All right. So now let's take a look at the top seller strategies, or how you can secure your online success. So let's take a look at the top three channels that you should be on. And I think our real estate professionals are familiar with, if not all, with most of these,
That's
right,
correct.
Clara? So we have email marketing, social media platforms, and Lamudi, or online property platforms, actually. So, Clara, what can you share with us about email marketing?
Right. So when we talk about email marketing, no, the email is not as intrusive as compared to other communication tools or other marketing communication tools, and we worry about that. Sometimes we think, no, there are too many emails that we're sending out. This may annoy our property seekers, but actually, if you get to catch a customer or a client at a good time, there's a high probability that they'll check that email immediately, right? So this statistics here, for the first one here at 81%, the 81% of our customers prefer to receive emails from real estate professionals, right? So this statistic shouldn't worry you, or this should dismiss your worry about sending emails to your customers too often, right? They want to hear from you. They want to see what are the things that you can offer, and make sure, um, of course, for us, right? For us sending out these emails, make sure that what you send to them is relevant and it also should add value. All right. Next, we have this 80% of retail professionals who say that email marketing is the best way for customer retention, right? So this one ranks better than, the chart of or organic search or even paid search and social media when it comes to customer acquisition or even keeping your customers in the loop, right? With email marketing, you can hit the spot or a more intimate part of connecting with your clients. It's making a more direct impact, right? So lastly, here, according to our digital marketing Philippines, right, we have email marketing that has 3,200% return of investment. And to share with everyone, no, there's from UK businesses, there's an average return of 32 pounds for every 1% that they spend on email marketing. And also in the US, we have the return of investment at $48, right? So we're seeing here why email marketing matters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Now, I want to ask the group here if they have an email database of the leads or their clients. So we're going to launch another poll here. Let us know if you have a database or of where you keep your clients or native information about your clients. Also for our Facebook watchers, let us know on the comment on the live. All right.
Okay. So do you have, again, you guys have the email addresses of your clients? Do you keep it in a database? Do you maybe
Mhm.
put it on Excel, on Word, on sheets, right? Let us know by answering the poll.
All right, we are at 65%. So interesting numbers here, and I'm excited to share it with everybody. So
Okay.
I'm going to be closing the poll in 10 seconds. All right. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. So Den, what do we see in our poll?
Right. So we can see that it's almost half, but
Right.
56% say they don't have it yet. So they might be planning to have their own once, once they see really the value of email marketing. And we see here a big number, or 44% already have their own email database of their clients. All right. So Clar, why did we ask them, or why is it important to have your own email database of your clients?
Right. So we are asking this question, this poll, definitely to let you know how you can get started with your email marketing. For those who have started email marketing or who do have an email database, we're going to give you some strategies and best practices on how you can how you can maintain it or make it better. For those who haven't, no, we're going to give you a starter. Okay. So here are some of the strategies and best practices that we can start with you, starting with having an accurate database of clients. All right. So now you want to have an accurate database of clients because, of course, keeping track of your leads or your referrals is something that you should keep in mind, right? So, for example, here we have contact details, name, email address, contact number, source, and special comment. So you want to have these contact details as with quality also. So avoid buying an email list, getting random email lists from from other people that you don't know if they're really interested, because all what we're aiming to have is quality contact details and quality leads. All right.
Right.
So
Mhm.
the leads on these the list that you may get or you may buy are low quality, or even they can be faulty ones with wrong spellings like GAMAIL. Right.
Right, right. That's correct. And I didn't know, Clark, that you could
Mhm.
actually buy an email list online, right? So if it were me, you would think that that's enticing. That I would think that might be a good opportunity.
Mhm.
But you know, you can't trust everything
That's
that
correct.
you see on the internet, right? So it's better if you have your own personal database. And I'm sure you guys have this because you might have gotten a lot of leads before already
Mm-hmm.
who might have
Mm-hmm.
gone cold or who weren't ready to buy it. So, they are the good ones to add to your database.
That's correct. Then, and the second tip that we have here is to segment your audience to target effectively. All right. So, what you want to do is to target your audience based on their profile. So, for example, here we have seller leads. Of course, seller leads expect different things from their real estate newsletters, than people who are in the market to buy, right? So you want to target this type of subscriber groups, right? These group and send, of course, targeted information that has value, such as the housing market, the location they're selling in, or any increase or decrease in their home value. All right. So another example, a first time home buyer will have a different need compared to somebody who is, let's say, somebody who's looking for a home to retire in, right? So these are the types of audiences that you want to segment. And here we also have an example, those who are looking for a specific area. So let's say, myself living in Mandaluyong, right? If I'm going to be looking for a place to live in Cebu, let's say, no, I would want to receive data or even valuable emails that pertain to Cebu market or Cebu opportunities there. So lastly, also for those who are working professionals in the CBD. So then, would you like to share with us though, how is it like working in as a professional in the CBD, and how does this tie with email marketing?
Right. So again, like what Laura has been talking about for the past 2 minutes, these are just examples of how you can
Mm-hmm.
segment your audience. And one of the ways to do that would be, if one of the profiles there would be the working professionals in CBD, or for example, if there is a profile for
Mm-hmm.
for the city that you're in, where most working professionals are in, right? You can segment that way as well, because again, you could send them emails that are relevant to their profiles, or to their wants, their needs, and their characteristics. Yeah.
Right. All right. So there you have it, guys. So target your audience based on their profile.
Mhm.
Next up, you wanna invest on an email marketing tool. So you've probably heard of email marketing tools such as Mailchimp, MailerLite, HubSpot, and really what these tools enable you to do is to it's there's an easy drag and drop templates for you to send out emails. You don't have to do a lot of formatting. All you have to do is upload the photos that you want to put on your emails, and make sure that the text are correct and the texts are good. And most importantly, these email marketing tools will help you optimize your emails that are fit for mobile. Right. So we were talking all about digitalized market today, and also our consumers are now heavily on smartphones, right? Then
Right, that's correct. So there's a higher possibility that your property seeker will check their email
that's
through
right.
their phone than through their laptop or desktop. So by using an email marketing tool, you can help your content become optimized for mobile or viewable through mobile.
Right. And if of course we've had those experiences where we're getting emails, but the text is all around, the text is too big, or either too big or too small, and the photos are not that clear. So again, these email marketing tools will help you with these types of mobile optimized emails, and an easy drag and drop template. And not only that, then no, these tools can also provide analytics for
Right.
when you have email campaigns.
That's correct.
Right.
So if you guys really want to maximize your email marketing efforts, you can
Mhm.
try exploring your own email marketing tool.
All right. So last but not the least, you want to know your email content. So right, we've talked about accurate database of clients, segmenting your audience to target effectively using an email marketing tool. And here, the last tip. We want to have ideas such as listing announcements, open houses, virtual tours, and of course some of them that could be success stories about how you're selling, and even neighborhood guides. So these are ideas that you can use for what you can put for your content on email marketing. But of course, no, most importantly, you should be sending these content to the appropriate audience. All
All
right.
right. Okay.
Okay. So now we have given you some tips, but of course, what is really important here is how do you drive engagement? No. So starting off with, planning in advance. So decide a frequency that you can really commit to, right? So there's no right answer as to how many emails you will send, but emails should be, or your frequency should be constant. So start with a frequency that fits best for your schedule. Let's say maybe once a month email, and then after that increase the frequency, and so that it's better later to have a consistent one than to promise a different frequency from time to time. Next, of course, you want to focus on getting it open. So I'm sure we all get the emails here and there, and we see email tags, or rather email subject lines, right? So email subject lines are very important because you want to opt for clear text as well as clear message. So let's say somebody, like for example myself, again, as an example, looking for properties in Cebu, I would open an email that says, or that is entitled new residential space in Cebu City, rather than an email that is entitled Cebu City, the place where I want to be, or the city where I want to be, right? So the first one really talks or targets what I am looking for. Okay. So of course, keep the clear subject line. And last but not the least, you want to optimize with a call to action. So right, we have now tackled and focusing on getting the email open. Now you don't want to lose or waste their hard-won attention. So what you want to do, greet your reader. All right. Include a one call to action. So may it be, let's say, open this link, watch this video, subscribe to our newsletter. Make sure that there's only one, and not overwhelm them with many call to actions. All right. So a lot of suggestions here to drive engagement, guys. And what we're ultimately using, or what we're ultimately suggesting here and recommending, is to use email for client retention and updates. So again, keep your clients on the loop about news, any updates about neighborhood ratings, or even about trends, but also focus on targeting your audience based on their profile and having a consistent strategy. All right. So now, next, we move on to social media platforms. All right. And another poll here that we have, we're going to ask you, what or which social media platforms are you currently on? Okay. So let us know: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, or if there are others, let us know on the chat box or comment them on the live chat. How about you, Den?
I
Which
am yeah, that was funny, you then. Anyway, just to share with you guys, that was funny for me because my surname is you. So going back here, I'm in almost all except YouTube. So I don't
Mhm.
have it in me to have a YouTube channel, but who
Yet.
knows, right? Eventually I might be there. But I can see here that we have some participants who are on YouTube. So great. Great job there, guys. And we're keeping this poll open for a couple more seconds because I see we're only at about 45%. Right.
Right.
So let's bump that up for maybe 60%, 70%. All right, 10 seconds, guys. What about you, Car?
Yes.
Which platform or platforms are you on?
Oh, I'm currently in all of these platforms.
Hmm.
So, and also to add the others, maybe just a watcher on TikTok.
Right, just a watcher. So if
Yeah,
you
I don't
search
post.
Yeah, if you search Clara, you won't find her there. Okay, so let me end the poll here. And Clara, according to them, obviously 100% of them are on Facebook. This is followed by Instagram, YouTube. Wow, actually equal. See Instagram and see YouTube. So great job there, guys. And this is followed by LinkedIn and others. Okay, did you get
Right.
any messages on what the others are or what the
Oh,
other
no,
platforms do?
no comments and messages from my end. Then all right.
Okay.
Okay, so now that we have an idea of the social platforms that we are on, why are we talking about this afternoon? When we are talking about marketing strategies in today's landscape, guys, you will see this map that you see. The most relevant tool to have are the social media platforms because we are the social media capital, and as you can see,
For the
from this
sixth year.
right for the
Okay.
sixth year. Filipinos, all right, this is a fact, guys. So Filipinos spend an average of 4 hours and 15 minutes. I'm so
Nice.
guilty here, then.
Yeah, I know because Clara and I talk sometimes mostly on social media.
Mhm.
So on weekends obviously. And I would see her online sometimes when I wake up at 8 and then before I sleep at 11 p.m. she's still online. So she spends most of her day on social media. And if you guys are the same, right?
Mhm.
Feel free to give us a thumbs up or a heart reaction here on Zoom. Okay.
Right.
So so, Clar,
So mhm.
what can we share about the usage of social media in our context in real estate?
Right. So again, in terms of marketing, and with connecting to our today's buyers, the best one actually is using the social media platform, right? And to start off with our first tip, no, social media is for brand building, right? So we see a lot of brands that use social media to the farthest extent to create, all of that boosting and all of course, boosting their interest for the brand. So again, now, social media, let's put it right down at the plate or at the table. It is not the primary platform for purchasing real estate, but again, to boost your presence and also to boost your brand, social media is the way to go. All right. Next tip that we have, and this is my most favorite. Now, then let's show them the photo here. Social media presence does not equate to conversion. And to ask Den here, we actually did a quick search of properties in McKinley on one of the platforms or social media platforms. And then let us know, what do you see on these photos?
Right. I noticed that the prices on the photos say free or 1 peso. Right,
That's
Clar?
correct.
And if this is true, imagine all of us here, all of our viewers here would probably like buy at least three if
That's correct.
this was
It would
true.
be like, okay, guys, it's on me. Your houses are on me. I can pay for them. Right. So to
Right.
that point, right, we are saying what we're saying here is that, everything that you see or postings that you see on social media are not as legitimate as it is. Information is diluted. Therefore, it is not the ideal place to conduct business. But of course, we see a lot of listings and postings on social media. If you are if you're on social media to create that interest, all right, then that's good. But of course, when we talk about quality leads and quality prospects, right, social media is not the best way. Actually, to share with everybody, we have not really a behavior that we see is that the property seekers on social media just ask, right, how much is the property. All right, then.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry.
Mhm.
I think you got that correctly, Clarno.
Right.
Because they put this price range or
Hmm.
for 1 peso and for free, so they would get messages,
More
right?
messages, right?
And if your goal is to just get messages, to just get inquiries, then that's fine, right? But like what Clar said, if you want quality leads or
Mm-mm,
qualified
mhm.
leads, then this is not the best strategy for you.
That's right. Okay. And now, last but not the least, the third tip here from the word itself, social media is for being social. So you want to use social media to connect, communicate, update, and create that brand awareness. So use social media to maybe connect with your network, right? To your clients, and of course, with your potential leads. All right. So now we have talked all about social media platforms, and here our recommendation at the Lamudi Academy is for you to use social media for branding. Okay, because for through social media you can build and boost your online presence, and you can establish your brand. Right. Again, focus on engaging and connecting with your audience, and also creating that good visual content. I'm sure then no, we see a lot of good content on the social media of the brands that we follow. So that
Right.
boosts our interest too. And same goes the tips that we share with you. You guys can also do that for your own social media platforms. All
All
right.
right. So let's take a pause here, Clardo, for about a couple of seconds. Just
Mm-hmm.
just for them to let that sink in, and if they have any questions, they can type it on the chat, right? But so far, I think my key takeaway to the two platforms that you've talked about is email marketing, use it for retention, and
Right.
then social media, use it for branding. Those are my two key takeaways for the two platforms that you've shared so far. All right.
Right.
So, do you have any questions from the chat box in your end?
No questions on my end then?
Okay. All right. So, stay with me. So, I think we can move on to our third platform, which is online property platforms. Okay. So, guys, watch out because after our quick talk here, we will also have a very special guest by the end of this discussion. Okay. So, Clar, why are online property platforms important to secure our online success?
Right. So, when we talk about the buyer and seller journey, we often forget now these journeys happen independently of each other. So, of course, in fact, the stages that they go through, or the stages that sellers go through, can influence and lead their buyers to the finish line, right? So
Right.
you guys are seeing this timeline here, and now let's walk them through no seller journey. Once the sellers upload their listings on Lamudi, the buyers will ultimately see them. And of course, now if they find it interesting, if they find it really informative, and it fits their what they're looking for, they'll inquire through the Lamudi online platform, right? And through that online platform, we have direct responses with the tools and features that the Lamudi website has, and with that, you easily can connect with your buyers. All right. And now at this point, no, some of our buyers take a while before they decide on buying a property. So as you can see, there's an average of at least 6 months. Okay. And with that, we use our targeting efforts for our leads. Okay. So how do we retarget them? We can connect with them in ways looking through what stages they are at, maximizing the tools, and we're going to share more about it. And then, of course, once the buyers have decided to make the sale, ultimately the sellers will succeed by converting them and closing the sale. So we see that influence. And the question is, why should you be on an online property platform, right? The Lamudi.com.ph, or the Lamudi website here, is the number one real estate platform. And this is really your one stop shop for everything real estate, right? It is where your property seekers will begin their search. And, even then, to tie it up with my story a while ago of when I was looking for a property here at Mandaluyong, I was looking at Lamudi property website because I know this is a legitimate place of where I can see properties, right?
Right.
And
And
not
when
only
you,
uh-huh.
yeah, sorry about that, Clarno, but I like what you said. It's where property buyers begin their search because, like what we say
Mhm.
here, it's the top real estate platform. And if you go on Google right now, let's say for example, you search properties in Makati or properties in Cebu, right? One of the top searches that you will see there will be Lamudi,
Definitely.
right?
That's right. Lamudi will be on those top searches. And of course, no, not only that, we have the Lamudi website that allows you to connect with your potential buyers and easily connect with them. Okay. And also for you, you will have built in features to help improve your conversion. Okay. So I think then, do you have a question for everybody here about maybe overseas?
Sorry, can you say that again?
All right. So I think we have a question for them about any increase that we see overseas.
Right. So, do you guys get, or which countries do you get your inquiries from, or have you
Yeah.
received any inquiries from leads overseas? Ayan. So if yes, just give us a thumbs up reaction here on Zoom, or maybe a heart. All right. So if you've received any inquiries from overseas, I got here from Reggie. He says from USA. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And also getting another chat here from one of our participants. Yes, from Australia. So as you can see, Clara, no,
Yeah.
it's really obvious that the leads that they get are not just here in the Philippines, but also like what we mentioned earlier, the top countries, right? Such as US, Australia, UK, Japan, Middle East, right?
Right.
And Claire, whenever we talk about this, we always say na that you don't go to the Moody to buy shoes or to buy bags. You go there to buy properties. So that way,
That's
when
correct.
you get an inquiry, you would know that they are actually a potential buyer, right?
That's correct, right? And that's their first intention of visiting the website. Really, is to look for properties. So there's no mixed messages there. They are really potential property buyers. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, now we have given you, the why you should be on the whys about being on an online property platform. Now, what do you want to do to improve your listings on an online property platform? First one is to post high quality content. All right. Now, you have probably seen lots of listings, right? And then if you'd like to share with us now, are the photos good on our listings? Right, there are some photos that that doesn't really show everything about the property. So what do we want them to do for their quality content?
Right. So you want to make sure that you have good photos of your
Yeah.
listings, because this is the first one of the first things that your property seekers look at apart from the price, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if your how do you say this? The quality of your photos would translate translate how you are as a seller, or how your
That's right.
property
Yeah.
seekers view you as a seller, right? So again, you want to avoid clutter on your photos there. You want to make sure that the lighting is good. You want to make sure that it's taken properly, or that it really shows the best features of
Right.
your
The best features.
listing. And next here is, you also want to provide all of the details, right, about your property. And why do you think that's important, Clara? What are the details that you can add on your listings?
Right. So, right, we have details about the property, right? We always have that ready in our notes, or even in our, deck or our prop presentation. But one of the things that I notice is, we always focus on the details about the property, that we forget to add more details or valuable details, such as establishments, or even places that they can go to easily within that property. What that does, it adds value to what the property seekers may expect. So again, not only should you provide all the details about the property, but also valuable details, right? And last year, making it easy for them to contact you. So this is all about is, here on the online property platform and on Lamudi, we have features wherein you can be contacted on WhatsApp, Viber, even your email address or your phone number. What you want to do is to be able to put all of your contact details, as so your property seekers can reach you easily. All right. So also similar to that, if your property seekers are only used to maybe talking on Viber, and you are not used to talking on Viber, you might want to check it out and see how you can connect with our clients or our property seekers too. All right. So ultimately, our recommendation for from the Lamudi Academy is to use online property platforms to feature your property. So again, like what Den said, right? This is the place where most of the legitimate property buyers first look. Again, first shop. that they can check in. So this is also where you can bring your listings to and connect with millions, right? As we said, no, not only here in the Philippines but also abroad, and reach our property seekers abroad also, and also to utilize it for the features that there are on it, for easier leads management as well as for conversion. So apart from that, focus on improving your content, the quality of your listings, not just your photos, but also the details that you put in. Okay, and make use of all the tools that are available on that platform. All
Right.
right.
And just to sum that all up, no, Claire,
Mhm.
the best strategy that you can really implement is to use all of these three channels for an effective marketing strategies. So a way for you to really secure your online success is by using all of these and maximizing it for its own uses. So email marketing again is for
Mhm.
retention, social media for branding, and Lamudi or online property platforms is where you focus in terms of your listings, right? And like what I mentioned earlier, we're gonna be inviting a special speaker, right, for this afternoon. But before that, Clara, let's just show them the learning solutions from the Labudi Academy. All right, so we have learning solutions from going digital up to succeed with Lamudi. And if you guys want to join our weekly sessions, our free weekly sessions, feel free to take a screenshot of this or scan the QR codes that you see on your screen right now. All right. And at this point of our discussion, I'd like to pass the virtual floor to our strategic partnerships lead, Bianca Espada.
Right. Hi, everyone. Yes. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me this afternoon. It's always great to be actually be part of the Lamundi Academy sessions, and also shout out to all our Sabano brokers and agents here on our session. It's always a great time to be always discussing things with you. So we hope na you're all well no, in Cebu or wherever you are karon man, and you're all well and safe there. Okay, so I'll just share my screen since I'm very, very excited to actually share all the updates and new offers.
All right. Let's give Bianca there a few seconds. So
Yeah.
Bianca, how are you there? How are you wherever you are from?
Yes, I am very fine. I'm just fixing the audio here since baka
Okay.
medyo may echo nga, no? So, sige, I'm just sharing my screen now.
All right. No problem.
Right? Okay, I just need to check. Can you all see my screen now? Is it good? Clark
Yes,
Yes.
and
we can
Ren?
see it.
All right. That's good. So yeah, again, I'm Bianca Espada and I handle strategic partnerships for the ad platform of course, Labudi Philippines. And I'm very excited na mas ma-explain at mas maipakilala pa sila Labudi, especially to those, who are not very familiar with it yet. But to those who are, have been using us or familiar with us already, I will still give you a great full walkthrough kung ano ba yung meron ngayon kay Lamudi at ano ba yung mga bago. So we shall start then. So to start things first, all right. So Lamuni, of course, is actually a real estate ad platform with the ultimate goal of becoming, of course, the premier real estate ad platform here in the Philippines. Na kung saan, hindi lang naman limitado yung exposure natin sa market dito sa Pilipinas, but also abroad. That's why we also heard a while ago that some are receiving inquiries and uh, interactions from leads or inquiries coming from outside the country. So we aim to really become that bridge na mas mailapit kayo as brokers or sellers sa target market nyo, syempre, in respect to the projects that you're actually handling. So just to show you also our success here in the Philippines for like the past how many years? 7 or 8 years already. So in our platform currently, hinahawakan nila Moody yung around 180,000 listings all over the Philippines, all regions in the Philippines. And then our monthly visitors, we do have around 2 million monthly visitors. And then our lead generation capacity would amount up to the maximum of about 150,000 leads every month. and then 6 million page views. So we just want you to, show these numbers as well, because itong mga numero na to ay naging produkto din naman of, making the brand of Lamudi to be very established and to really have great rankings and maximum exposure on the internet. So these numbers would tell you that, kumbaga, we are the go-to. We are the go-to real estate ad platform here in the Philippines for the side of the sellers, and of course our property seekers here in the Philippines, and of course abroad as well. So people keep on coming back. People stay on our website because they stay around 5 to 30 minutes at max, and they're really actively browsing properties here, and not just simply ending up asking na until how much lang, or for example na, I'm sorry, I accidentally clicked your property. I was basically looking for a second-hand car or a brand new car. It doesn't really happen here, because when people go to our website, the intention is very critical here. They're really looking for real estate properties. Okay? So moving on, I hope this is very helpful sa inyo, no? Kasi syempre statistics are very important syempre when it comes to making decisions, right? And in terms of evaluating kung kamusta ba yung market. So the Moody on the Q1 of 2021, yes, 2021, this is very recent. These are the locations that we're able to get na maganda talaga yung hatak din naman ng traffic, no? So we have, like, of course, Quezon City, Makati, Taguig, Muntinlupa, Antipolo, and of course, syempre, we cannot deny, and we're not even surprised that Cebu is actually here on our top locations din naman talaga, because I myself, I have witnessed how massive the developments in Cebu are. I used to live there for about like a year or so, no? So we're not really surprised na ang taas talaga ng hatak ng paghahanap ng houses and lots and condos, of course, and even commercial spaces in the Cebu area. And not just in the city, but spread out sa buong Cebu region. So also, as I was talking na rin naman about the Vismin area, so just to add on that, we also get good traffic in Davao City, in Bacolod City, in Cagayan de Oro, and of course, Iloilo City. So as you can really observe, no, that these cities are highly progressive and almost really becoming highly urbanized na rin naman talaga sa mga developments and plans doon sa location. That's why we're getting good traffic there for like, for since we started the year. So we see that trends and the statistics will be very dynamic. It's not gonna be linear lang naman. So we might see a lot of changes as well as we go along with the year. So ayun. Also, as Sklar was actually asking earlier kung nakakatanggap ba kayo ng mga inquiries outside the country. So yeah, Lamudi also covers all those regions in terms of the traction that we've been getting from the property seekers. So for example, kanina lumabas nga sa statement, no, ng isa sa mga attendees natin that nakakuha siya sa US and sa Australia. So it shows also in terms of yung numbers na nakuha natin for Lamudi, we get good traffic in US, in Canada, in UK, and Middle East as well. So as you can see, mukhang ang uniform dito na factor din naman talaga is that these locations or these countries or regions basically have pretty good number of Filipino communities, like the OFWs, probably naghahanap ng property here for retirement, di ba? Uuwi na, or for income generation or investments, diba? So we'll see, and Lamudi gets to cover those regions as well, diba? Parang halos lahat ng region now nakukuha natin yung traffic, syempre, except Antarctica siguro. So I'm not sure if there are plans there already. So yeah, going further, so in comparison, kung kamusta ba si Lamudi, because a lot of people would ask also, how is Lamudi basically faring in comparison to other spaces as well, or other platforms. So we're very happy that our hard work really bore some fruit, na talagang in Lamudi we have 5 times more listings compared to others. So that's variety. The property seekers keep on coming back kasi nakikita nila na yung hinahanap nila nandun sa Lamudi, kahit anong hanapin nila. Bahay man yan, lupa, condominium, commercial, rental, or leasing, all of them are in Lamudi. In terms of our monthly active users, we have around 10 times more than the others, right? And then lead generation capacity, 15 times more. So I think these are very good numbers, diba? Parang what could you ask for more pa if you have a platform like this? And then we have also worked with the biggest names or biggest game players here in the industry. So You might be familiar with some of them, and we hope to expand our presence and partnership also in Cebu, of course, the Cebu region and more. Right. So I don't think na magiging mahabang usapan ito kasi kanina pa to mini-mention din or talagang mas in-depth na present din naman ni Clar and Deno that the digital transition is really happening because it's a given fact already and we have to embrace it that majority of the property seeking behavior right now, gone are the days where our clients would like hop from one side to another. Pupunta siya sa isang lugar para magtanong, uy, ano ba, meron ba dito available na housing project? Meron bang bakanting lupa dito na for sale? Meron bang agricultural lot dito? It doesn't really happen anymore, right? Because right now, the transition of the behavior is that lahat ng kailangan ko, lahat ng gusto ko, mahanap ko na siya online at just the tip of my fingers. And I'll just type whatever that I want and I'll see it right away. Diba? Same goes with you. Same goes with the brokers and agents here. That what we really want to impart here is that the culture that we have to embrace na everything is going digital. So we really have to meet halfway there if we want to capture our target market. Those who have purchasing power, those who are millennial buyers, we have to capture them because they are on the digital platform. So as a seller yourself, you have to be there. Because if not, then how are you gonna get done, right? So which is the most critical point here. So yeah, Lamudi also, by the way, is kung manonotice nyo, one of the biggest indications why Lamudi is really topping the market right now in terms of advertising property listings is that kahit maghanap kayo ng kahit anong property, whether it's a house and lot, a beach lot, even a memorial lot, ang itataas at itataas talaga na search result dito sa Google search engine natin is of course Sila Moody together with its sister platform myproperty.ph, and that we're very happy and we're very proud because through that strength that we have online, doon namin mas natutulungan talaga yung mga partner brokers and agents namin na talagang makita sila kaagad, masagap talaga sila agad ng mga naghahanap ng properties because we always have to get the top so that you're gonna be the first choice of the people who are looking for properties, diba? So here you can like us on Facebook. So you probably know our Facebook already, but yeah, come to Facebook, just type Lamudi with a verified mark, and even Lamudi Academy, they have their own page, no? So you can like the page there so that you can get updated information about what's up with Lamudi, and not just what's up with Lamudi, but also what's up with the real estate industry in general, so that you can be updated. So yeah, I'll give you a very comprehensive or concise walkthrough here din as well, especially sa mga gusto pang malaman kung ano ba yung nasa loob ng nila Moody ngayon, no? Ano ba yung mga pinagbago dyan. So yeah, this is the very first thing that you're gonna see, the one that you're seeing on your screen, of course. That's when you go to www.lamudi.com.ph, which is the very first thing that you're gonna see. So meron tayong search engine here, and then the property seeker, for example, like me, I have to type or encode ano ba yung mga hinahanap ko. So for example, way before I moved to Makati, so I was living in Cebu. So actually Sila Moody talaga yung unang website na talagang parang in-offer sa akin na paghanapan ko ng property or my next home here basically in Manila. So for example, I'm looking for a property for sale in Makati, kunwari lang, or let's say in Cebu. Okay, let's put it in Cebu. So I'm inputting there house and lot for sale in Cebu, and then I click the search button. So what happens next? So the next thing is here. Ito yung next yung makikita. So all the listings, for example, in Cebu na houses and lots would of course be shown, diba? Mai-expose siya. However, we're very much sure that the journey of the user on Lamudi is that they really use our filtering tool. Definitely, they really use that because they need to target a very specific listing that, of course, in line sa mga kagustuhan nila. Kasi, oo nga, bahay at lupa siya, let's say, sa Cebu, but not all of those listings would actually qualify because I have my own demands as well. So, for example, let's say, okay, Lamudi, thank you for all the listings that you showed to me, but I only want to see houses and lots for sale in for example in Mabolo, Cebu. I want it to be near, for example, SM City Mabolo, or Mabolo Church, for example. So I want also a listing na bahay tupa siya at the maximum probably 10 million siya, and then 2-bedroom and then 2-bathroom among all those things. So the more that the client or the property seeker gets to input all of these demands, the more na numinipis yung choices nila, the more na numinipis yung number of listings sa pagpipilian nila. So kung, just to add on that, kung very specific tayo as the Lamudi Academy was actually teaching us a while ago, we're very specific and we're very clear and we're very comprehensive with what we are posting, na very invested tayo sa kalidad ng admin sa Lamudi, that you really put it there na it's not just a house and lot for sale in Cebu, but where exactly it is, magkano ba talaga siya, ano ba yung mga amenities and features niya sa loob at labas ng bahay niya, at ano ba yung nearby establishments niya for selling point, then definitely hindi imposible na kayo po yung makita agad ng client, especially if you really invest on that ad quality of yours. So we hope na nakikita natin yung importansya din naman talaga ng pag-aaral din at pag-a-analyze ng mga pinopost natin on several platforms, diba? So also when you go to Lamudi, when the client is actually clicking na your property ad, no, kasi he or she's interested already. Beside there is, dito po, I'm pointing my where my cursor is at. Dito lalabas yung profile nyo. So your photo is there, or your company is there, and then when the client is interested to connect with you, he or she will be obliged to provide her or his details as well, so that real time mano-notify kayo as a seller that you have an inquiry from Lamudi. Alright? So, meron kayong kopya din naman talaga ng mga magtatanong po sa inyo. Okay? So, you will be receiving that on 4 platforms or for media, I say. So, you have email for that so that you will be really reminded na, uy, you have an inquiry from Lamudi, you can't forget about me. Alright? Let's say, I'm a hot lead pa, no? So, hindi talaga pwedeng kalimutan. And then WhatsApp, of course, especially with, abroad clients, like they cannot really contact you through your domestic lines. It's very important. You also have your messenger. So since you have the option na gusto nyo ma-remind doon na you have an inquiry from Lamudi, and then, of course, the very important, like for me here, kung ako yung seller, napaka-importante nito na, but I have the option to receive my inquiry real time through my SMS or through my phone directly. Kasi may internet man ako or wala, I still get to have the freedom to, talk to my clients whenever I want to or kaagad-agad. Kasi marireceive ko agad yung mga inquiries na to. So don't feel the need or the obligation na kailangan nyo tumambay sa mga laptop nyo na baka may ma-miss out akong inquiry because we expect a lot of things to do. So Lamudi is a very on the go siya na platform for you guys. Right? So this is what it looks like on your email. How the lead looks like on email format. This one is in Messenger, all right? And then this is on SMS na direkta nyo makakausap yung mga kliyente nyo or mga inquiries nyo. And then also before I forget, I'm just not sure if this was touched a while ago, but also Lamudi gives you the experience of having your own CRM, all right? Or customer relationship management tool na siguro isa na sa mga sumisikat talaga or nag-a-arise na terminology ngayon sa sales, no? That even the biggest brands can't really survive without having like a lead management tool or CRM tool. Because as studies showed talaga, no, na ang daming natutulungan ng pagkakaroon ng CRM tool or a way na matrack kung kamusta ba yung mga clients nyo, something that you can update from time to time or all the time if mas maganda, para matrack at ma-check nyo talaga kung kamusta na yung progress nyo sa bawat clients nyo po. So same goes here in Lamudi. We have this in-house CRM or feature that will give you a good experience of how to track your clients efficiently. The ones that you've been receiving on Lamudi, and you can even export it as Excel, all right, as backup. So this is something that you can really use and it will be a big help on your daily basis. Baka hindi pa tayo sanay, but it just needs to start with, one step at a time. So para masanay tayong gamitin ito. Okay? So moving on, we have several products as well in line with your needs. So we have the basic or the standard listing, all right? We have homepage listing. So that's the listing that's being featured immediately or being shown on, of course, our homepage. It's there. So also featured listing, okay? That's the boosted one or booster, yung terminology. So you can boost that listing for about a month and it will run boosted for 1 month exactly. And then one featured listing would mean one boost for the 1 month. Yeah, basically that's it. And then, yeah, when you have an account as well, you will have your own dedicated broker or agent page. So kung may mga accounts tayo kay Lamudi, it's all marked as verified Lamudi seller member or since the year 2020 or 2021. And then your name is going to be here, your logo or your photo, you can put that up here. and then everything about you. So there's like a profile here where my cursor is at right now. You can put everything about you there. Everything, like kung ano ba yung mga indicator nyo na location, projects, and anything. Na number one seller kayo, for the past 5 years, very consistent ako. So all those things. And then also they will see when they go to your page, they will see all the listings that you posted on Lamudi, or all the listings running under your name that you uploaded on Lamudi. So makikita nila yung kaano kakapal yung inventory nyo, di ba? So it's a showcase of your brand as well as a seller. So also when you upload on Lamudi, huwag kayong mabahala kasi we give you a way to track them, of course. Hindi pwede na once you upload it, okay, I'm done. It's all good. Bahala na si Batman. Of course, doesn't work that way here because we put premium on the fact that you have control also of what's gonna happen to your ads, okay? So you have ways to track how your listings are actually doing. Kasi makikita nyo dito na meron kang tracker kung ilang views na yung natatanggap mo, or ilang calls, or ilang mails. So that you can be guided. Now, for example, kunwari lang situational, you have a listing that has very good number of views versus the other listing na medyo sakto lang, medyo matumal siya, it's been a month already. So you make an assessment, of course, because of the numbers na nakikita niyo sa data dito na binibigay sa inyo. So if it's good, then maintain, di ba? Hayaan niyo sa site, ikot naman yan 24/7 internationally. But if not, make some assessment, make some reviews na baka my keywords are not very on point, not very optimized, baka there's something lacking about the visual aspect of my ad, among all those things. So yeah. So the Moody Academy also, just to show you, so they do a lot of presentations, they do a lot of training sessions. They're like one of the most sought after training program. They have the most sought after training programs in the real estate market right now, especially in line with digital marketing. So baka magkita-kita pa tayo soon. So, together with the Moody Academy. Right? So also on top of that, is that when you have an account with us, you have a built-in learning center po. Okay? Hindi na kayo mahihirapan na maghanap ng mga content or any modules pa na hanapin nyo manually on the internet just to see if you want more knowledge about knowledge more on the real estate market right now, and tips and suggestions on how to thrive better in the middle of the pandemic. You can see all of that because we release that for our partners as on our learning center. Okay, so yeah, also before I forget, we have two websites here. It's a sister platform. We have myproperty.ph and of course Lamudi. So Lamudi is very focused on the RFO market or resale. Okay, whether it's bahay, lupa, condominium ba siya, or apartment ba siya, or commercial space ba siya, or memorial lot ba siya, it's all okay. And then for your pre-selling section or pre-selling segment of your market, you can put that up here on myproperty.ph. Okay. So you have two websites na immediately, diba? Very aggressive. So just to give you a preview of our packages at the moment. So we have like several types of packages here for the brokers and agents. We have the basic, bronze, silver, gold, and gold plus. Okay, so it basically really it's different from one another in terms of how many listings talaga yung gusto nyo i-post. Okay, so we have 20, 40, 80, 120, and 300 listings at maximum. Pero actually nagde-level up pa yan or nagdo-double up, I mean, because you have myproperty.ph. So for example, Bianca, I want to take the bronze, so I have 40 on the Lamudi. That means you have another 40 in myproperty.ph. So basically you're getting 80 talaga, no? So it's a double up. So one of our main benefits here as well is that you get to have your customer success specialist. So we totally understand na baka you might have questions or concerns or anything that you'll be needing help for sa buong journey nyo dito kay Lamudi. So we have someone like customer success specialist to help you or to support you with anything relating to your account. Okay? So wag po kayo mabahala. Hindi lang po kayo nag-iisa dito. So this is an exclusive promo for our attendees for today, all right, for the session. So if you want to opt to do the 12 months contract, you have an automatic freebie or discount of 20%, or you have the option to have 3 months. That's a lot, very, very great offer. So like, for example, you'll be having a 12 months contract here, but definitely your ads will be running for like straight 15 months, diba? So a lot of exposure then, definitely more time to generate not just good number of leads, but quality leads as well. But if you want to do 6 months, you have 10%, all right, discount on that. Or another option, you have another 3 months. And then if you want to do upfront payment, you can have an additional 10% discount on that. So Well, we can definitely talk further about this as we go along, no, and after this presentation. So before I forget as well, when we become partners here on Lamudi, you are automatically entitled for a rewards program. So we have a lot of great partners here, especially when we started the year with, with the bank talaga for 2021. So like, if you want to refer your clients, diba, na looking for housing loan deals, you can refer them to Nook as a Lamudi subscriber. You get to have a 50% referral commission if it pushes through. Okay, so Nook is very helpful. And then conveyance as well for title transfers. If you need help with that, you have 15% off as a Lamudi partner. Clean X as well. So yung mga moving in nating mga clients, if they need help with the cleaning and other general services on the area. And then if you can refer a client to Abenson as a Lamudi subscriber or broker as well, you get to have 5% referral commission on that. Like so furnitures or for example, any interior design sales needs. So, you can get all these perks and Matterport as well. So 3 months on a starter plan and 20% discount on Insta360. Okay, so yung mga virtual walkthroughs natin dyan, ba maging helpful to sa inyo. Okay, so we hope that when you become partners talaga, ma-maximize you to lahat because it's all for you. Okay. So also, just to give you a heads up in terms of our payment here and transactions, you get to have a straight pay. You can have a straight payment, all right. So either through cash, credit card, or transfer online, and then you can have a monthly, quarterly, semi-annual basis of payment here on our whole contracts, 6 months or 12 months. So we have our own digital payment center. We have our own platform for credit card payments. So it's definitely easy and very well protected po. All right. So yeah, thank you so much. So just before I wrap this up, so for example, you're interested already and you want to fulfill all the requirements for your subscription, you can activate your account as early as within the next 24 hours once you have all the requirements. Okay, contract start date, and then you have Lamudi and My Property account, and everything will be sent to your email, documented everything about your subscription. So on a monthly basis, you will get a call once a month, to check how things from your end are going. What else do you need? Ano ba yung extra assistance na pwede nating mabigay sa inyo? So it's gonna be a call from your customer success specialist, and also on your first day you will get an onboarding call. Of course, it's a full walkthrough para to set expectations with each other of what type of need you will be needing, or what's the communication gonna be like between you and your customer success specialist. So it's really all personalized here. So thank you so much again, everyone. So before I truly wrap this up, para pangalawang beses ko na ito sinasabi. Lamudi aims to be a one-stop solution for all of your needs as a broker or as an agent. So we have the advertising, we got that for you. We got the maximum local and international exposure. It's 24/7 rolling on the site. You can be contacted efficiently and easily, and you have trainings on top of it because we believe that it's really gonna be complementary, tuloy-tuloy yung pagiging progressive natin sa digital marketing. So yeah, you may contact me here. Of course, it's my email and my number. So I have WhatsApp also there. So again, I'm Bianca Espada, and it's a pleasure to be with you this afternoon. Thank you everyone. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Clar, and thanks, Dan, and thanks to our Cebuano brokers and agents there. Salamat kayo.
Thank you, Bianca. So, sorry, Bianca. I think we have one question here from a participant. So they're asking if they're not allowed to post pre-selling, and are they only allowed to post RFOs?
Yeah. So with that, in Lamudi again, I would like to reemphasize. You will be allowed to post RFO properties, right? And then for the pre-selling ones, we have a website called myproperty.ph, which is more on specializing on pre-selling products. So that's the division. That's what the division is like. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Do we have other questions there then?
Do you have other questions from your end, Clar?
No questions from my end. All good.
Okay, so for our participants here, if you have any further questions, Bianca earlier left her contact details, so feel free to contact her there. And yeah, I think that wraps up our discussion for today. So again, this has been Dan from the Lamudi Academy, and
And this has been Clar, your learning partners. We are your learning partners at the Lamudi Academy. All right. And we have actually, Bianca is sending her contact number here on the chat box here at Zoom. We'll also be sharing that on our Facebook Live. And also, with that, we've shared the feedback form. Guys, feel free to submit your feedback and expect a one pager as well as your e certificates a few days after.
all
All
right.
right.
So thank you, everyone, and we hope to connect with you again very soon. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.